Welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see you again. And I think what we'll just, if anyone has a question, we'll start with that. And if not, then we have, we'll pull up a question from questions that came in to us.
There's many.
Yeah.
Many questions. So feel free to talk like if we were long lost friends, because that's really the we prefer to have deep communication rather than superficial. So I know all of you except for Kai, but that's okay. So feel free to ask anything, any angle, any question, any concern, anything. Okay, Gabor has a question.
Hey guys, my question is regarding passion.
Okay.
Yes, passion. Because in these, let's say in the past couple of months, I was really much struggling on what is my direction in life, like what do I want to really create, what do I want to work on, and I feel a kind of a bit of emptiness, but also I feel a kind of internal turmoils in terms of emotions, like lots of fears coming up, lots of sometimes even feel depressed. And I was experiencing, let's say 5 years ago, much more passion in my life, which was driving me forward, which was helping me to create something awesome. And now I feel this kind of emotion is kind of missing. And that's the question of mine. How can we create passion if it's necessary? And how can this kind of passion be recreated or something like that?
Yeah. So familiar.
Yeah. So you're talking about the kind of passion that motivates you to move forward.
Yes, yes, which gives some juice to life, in a sense.
Okay.
This is how I can formulate this this kind of feeling.
Juice to life is good. Yeah.
Juice is good.
Juice to life. So how can I get back my juice to life even more?
Okay. I mean, the question is, and of course, excellent, because traditionally, to get ahead in life, you need motivation, and I'm very familiar with that. I've spent most of my younger years, etc., being motivated and passionate about accomplishment and mainly money and power. So I don't have to be so scared in life. So I was very motivated, and coming from that perspective, the assumption is that that is the only way. In the mind assumes that that is the only way to get ahead, right? And that's certainly one way of getting ahead. The problem with getting ahead only on that superficial level is you have to work hard, and there's nothing wrong with working hard. You have to take massive action. Don't have to be afraid of failing. These are all good things, and unfortunately, it comes with a appropriate liability, like working very hard, and have lots of stress. And it seemed like you're fighting the whole world. So most of the events in life, it feels like you fighting, and occasionally you're forming alliances and then fight again. So that's the kind of passion that the people who want to succeed, that's the kind of passion we usually talk about, that kind of motivation. And now we have another ingredient. You have entered into a path, which is not a path, where we are exercising our basic human right in activating a human ability that's that able to help us in life tremendously, so that it can change our life to a much easier life, to a much more powerful life, where the kind of motivation that we talk about is not going to be that necessary. Don't worry, the accomplishment can remain the same. So you don't have to be unsuccessful, but as soon as we introduce or activate within us this ability, of course, as we know, all the ingredients for this activation of this new ability, it's not a new ability, it's a very old one, but we need to reactivate it. As soon as we reactivate this new ability, we're able to function in this world with making distinctions on a horizontal level, or making distinctions in the contrast mind. Something is higher, lower, etc., etc. And the new ability, the newly activated ability, is a unifying ability. Never mind making different distinctions. It's how can I unify with something? So this unifying ability gives us a tremendous advantage as far as accomplishment, ambition, goal setting, manifestation, happiness. I mean, couples, relationships, relationships, etc., etc. And we're not really talking about something mystical. It's something normal, something natural that we have that we have when we activate this ability. So when you're when someone like you, Gabor, is used to be motivated to go forward and have the passion, right? And all of a sudden you introduce another level, another angle, another dimension. Doesn't matter how we call it, it's not the right word anyway. So we have this, and we're introducing something else. And not only are we introducing it, but we're introducing it moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, right? Which is what the practice is, which is we're doing life, we're not staying and doing nothing, we're doing stuff, and while we're activating that ability. Then all of a sudden you notice first that the traditional motivation is gone. Now, that does not mean it's gone forever, it's only temporary. Because all of a sudden, the contrast mind that makes distinctions is encountering something different. All of a sudden, all of a sudden the fear part of the motivation is gone, right? A lot of times, traditionally, the motivation to go forward in time is sort of fear-based or partially fear-based. Mm-hmm. I don't have enough of that, therefore I need this. I want a great relationship, I want this and more money, whatever, right? And those goals are fine, legit, and very much possible. As soon as we introduce this other dimension, which is the activated body, right? Ooh! As soon as we introduce it, there are traditional fear-based templates in our head that keeps on talking to us, gets confused. It's like what happened to Gabor's ambition is, you know, I was so motivated before and enthusiastic. What happened? So what happened is you have added an ingredient that the contrast mind is not used to. In time, it's gonna learn to make friends with it. At the beginning, it behaves like an enemy. It takes away the ambition and what have you. In time, the contrast mind realizes that activating this other ability and using it will be of great help to it, meaning the contrast mind. So it's not going to be so scared, and you're also going to get your motivation back. But the motivation is not going to be fear-based. The fear-based templates in our head, the templates will remain, but the fear is taken away. So it's like the fear-based templates basically collapse because there's nothing to hold it together. It's like brick and mortar, if I say it properly in English. Brick and mortar, right? Yeah. It's like if someone took away the mortar between, there's just loose bricks. So the best thing to do is just to know this, relax into your activated body, if you call it that, smile, and then you can take a piece of paper and start writing down your ambitions, or wouldn't it be nice, or whatever, but playfully. You know, you can still have your goal, but what the universe is telling you, you can have your goal, but I'm take away all your fearful templates. So here is a bunch of bricks, but there's no fear. So it feels different. It feels, oh my God, I don't have the motivation. So you will not have the fear motivation, but you will have another type that's developing within you that is so much better and so much easier to have a good life and manifest good things. Why? Because the traditional fear-based motivation is expresses some sort of a need. I need this, I need that, and I need this. And as long as I need something, I'm not going to get it. The way the universe works actually is that you can have it if you don't need it. It's like if you're asking a girl out on a date and you're really needy, she will probably say no. So we can have anything as long as we don't need it. So the best way to talk to the universe as far as what you need is to say, wouldn't it be nice? Isn't this nice? And you can describe it and describe it. And by the way, oops, I don't need it. And this too, I don't need. And that too, I don't need. So instead of describing what you would like from need, we're describing it from the perspective of that too is not needed. Just sounds really weird from expressing it in duality language, right? So I would recommend that you can have your ambition, you can have your passion, but don't be surprised if the universe forces you to express them in a non-fear-based language. And you will notice those distinctions, and the universe also will force you into a non-needy passion. You can have passion and you don't have to be needy.
That's great.
So, you know, I hope this one answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. And I really love that way of because when you were talking to, like, there is a neediness inside what we really want, and I just feel this neediness right now, like which is basically blocking, let's say, this kind of passion that I have inside, which I
right.
And yeah, just an extension question: how can we get rid of this neediness?
you don't. as soon as we try to get rid of the neediness,
oh yeah, that's right.
It gets empowered, right? You know,
yeah.
So
Yeah, makes sense.
neediness or any kind of conflict reality based stuff, template or anything like that. We don't want to get rid of fear, neediness. We can't. What we can do is bypass them, right? Because if you want to get rid of any kind of fear or neediness, we empower that. So here I have some neediness and fear and whatever, and we learn how to bypass it, which means that I take all my focus away from it and I focus sharply into the body. Woo! And that bypasses the appropriate fear or the neediness, and all of a sudden the neediness is not there. So the neediness is not, we don't talk to it, we don't want to eliminate it, we don't want to amplify it. Basically, we shun it. Maybe there's no such a word.
Bypass.
We bypass it. And the bypassing itself, our attention normally wants to be here, and we say, I use my free will. I know, Mr. Mind, you want me to pay attention here and engage you on this level. But what I'm saying is, oops, first I activate my ability to hold God's hand. That's metaphor. I don't care what you say. First I'm holding God's hand. It's a good metaphor that most people like. And the bypassing is, once you know how to do it, it's instant. And usually the power of fear or neediness goes down instantly. If not, we let it be there and we just keep on activating, right? Smiling and activating and bypassing. As if you were taking all your trouble and neediness and you would hand it over to a higher being, let's say. This is all metaphors, guys. Right, Gabor? Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, Gabor, I know what you're going through. I went through it too. And when I started with this, I was just out of the corporate world where I was very, very busy and always had ambitions and projects and goals and all of that. And all that went away. For a while, it completely went away. And I remember I used to say to Gabor, I need a thing. I don't have a thing. What's my thing? I said, you have a thing. I don't have a thing. What is my thing? And but that changes. It's just a switch that happens. And now I don't have the need like we talk about, but I'm driven. I'm driven, whether it's writing or organizing Gabor's things. I'm driven, but there's no reason behind. I don't have I'm doing this because, or I'm doing this because I want this. I'm doing this in order to. There's no cause and effect behind it. It's the best I can describe it, but it does change. But it does come back. The drive comes back, but it's on a whole different platform.
Yeah.
So you have a lot to look forward to.
Well, it's also, you have a lot of good things to look forward to, because the moment we bypass, what we're saying is, I'm accepting universal help. I don't need to understand it. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it as a birthright. I don't need to deserve it. And you can attract non-local information to you. With the contrast mind, we attract localized contrast, conflict information. As soon as we activate, there is no limit. Like, information can come from anywhere, and it's so much easier, and you don't have to get gray hair. Guess what my color, what color my hair is. Anyway, that time I had fear-motivated ambition, and certainly I got my hair all gray and everything else. So you don't need it, so don't worry about it.
Thank you so much for the I feel what you Nurit said, that it's this is how I'm going through, and this is the process. So I got your point. So I will just keep doing it
Just keep
playfully.
bypassing, and you don't need to give up on your ambition. Just it's gonna feel different than before.
Yeah. The more you go within, the more you will feel that wonderful blanket or background that will ease whatever it is that you're the growing pains that you're going through.
Yeah. Well, anyway, cool.